Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just I'm going to do a landscape for you. Just going to drag the brush back and forth just above the horizon, above a horizon line. And then I'm going to find that horizon line right there. And I'm going to let the water that I did up above just draw that. See, I put a lot of Okay, so you can see that's how you use a wash, so that you just let the paint move up into it. You want to make sure that you're using a lot of paint. A lot of paint. Okay. Now I'm just going to draw some of this down. Okay. It's best to do washes of the, what you think might be background or I don't know, just lighter areas, and then you can dry it and put trees in and things like that. Now if I want to add some clouds, you said you wanted to do some clouds. A good way to do clouds is just, first of all, you want to get some color in. And it can be any color, it doesn't have to be blue. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording because I have to dry this a little bit, but we gotta dry it. It has to be dried. Has to be dried, and it's got a shine on it. I'm trying to get the shine off. This is all the kind of stuff I'm learning, B. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off for a second. Okay, I hope this is going to be close enough for you to see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush real wet. Because what you're going to do is you want this to be not too wet that when you put your thumbprint in it, it stays there. You want it to stay. Okay, so this might be this right here. I'm pushing my thumb in. If your thumbprint stays, then it's good. If it doesn't show up at all, it's too dry. If it shows up and then goes away, then it's too wet. So that's how you can test. But what you're going to do is you're going to push color out of the way. So I'm going to wet this. And I'm going to push water out of the way. Okay, I'm going to move this over here because this is actually the right wetness over here. You can see this water moving. See it moving out of the way. I'm pushing it. Okay. Now I'm going to drag some of the other color so that we get Now I'm going to put just a little bit of this blue that I had just right around the edges of this in here in areas, because That will give the cloud some depth. So I've got a wet area. I've pushed away some of the color, and then along the edges I put this color in. That gives your clouds some depth. And you see those forming now? See how the clouds are forming? Okay, see how I'm doing that? Now, if you want to drag them across this way, just let them form their own. Okay, and as they go, you wet them and you let them move out. Drag them, do all sorts of things to just move them around, okay? And you see those clouds forming? Just dropping water. See, I could drop some water right there, just put water, and you can see it move away from there. So I can move that out of there. And there's the clouds. Okay, now I'm going to put a couple trees in. While I was gone, I dried this so that it's still a little damp, but it's okay. Now I'm going to put some dark, and it's dry, so this isn't a wet brush on dry background. Okay, this part that I'm painting on is dry. There are parts that are wet. This is dry. So it's going to go on pretty straightforward. It's not going to leak out into anything because that's not what I want it to do. So now what I'm going to do is I want that line real dark. So now I'm just going to draw this area right in here. I want to draw it down so the brush is real wet. A lot of water but no color. All I'm going to do is draw the color down from up there. Okay, this is just a wet brush with no color in it. All I'm doing is drawing the color down from up there. Move this around a little bit. Okay, give it some depth. Start to add layer on layer. When you paint one layer over another layer, it starts to look built up, and you start to get some depth into it. Okay, now I'm just gonna put a simple tree in here. So there's a couple of ways to make trees. The brush has paint in it and water, and I'm just going to draw this up. Okay, just draw a couple of them up just to get started. Okay. Okay, now I just have water in my brush, and I'm gonna get this wet right here. I'm gonna shake water out, and then I'm just gonna draw this up. So you see how that's lighter, okay? Okay, so and remember, trees are angular. They're not really smooth bent for the most part. I'm putting more paint on now, and I want to get more color in these guys. This is where you're painting with the tip of your brush. Okay. Okay, so I put these trees over my. See that out there? See how that's spreading out? It's still wet. Okay, you put as many branches on these things as you want, but remember to always keep coming out with them. Okay, now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to put just water on my brush. I've cleared out color. And now I'm going to brush this and brush this until I can get some clear. Until I can clear it out. I'm going to pick some water up. Pick some water up. See, I'm wiping it off. Picking some color up. Okay, I'm wiping it on a rag. Picking color up. Now so you can see I'm I'm fading this so that now it sort of fades into background a little bit. I clean it up, I use clean water, I get it to come into the background a little bit, and then I can move over here and add a little fog. Your clouds are behind, and so that's how you start to build the landscape. Now if I wanted to, I might, you know, put some leaves on these guys so that it's leafy. Of course you might want to do it with color, but I'm not going to do that. We might need to add a little color for, I'm wetting it again so that I can get this wet so I can pull this out again, because I want to put more clouds over here where you can see them. Put a lot of water down here and let this run together. Now I'm going to push paint out of the way. Okay, now I'm blending the two together. You can see on the left side we're getting a little bit better clouds. This side I'm going to have to put a little brown in it in order to let clouds evolve here. So I'm going to put some, I'm just going to add some color over here because I got to build those clouds up again. Okay, now I'm going to dry this out for a second, so I'm turning you on. Okay, we're back, and I dried this out up here just a little bit. Now what I want to do is get clean water, shake it out, and then just rub it through here like this. You know, if you let the paint work, it'll build clouds for you. You want clouds to kind of billow for the most part. If you're looking for the billowy kind of cloud. Now I'm going to just blot a rag in here. Okay, you can see the clouds start to build. Again, this is layer on layer. This takes a little time to develop, so I'm going to put just a little more color up in here. Put a little more color down here.
And I accept responsibility for that. Unlike you and the rest of me.
Hey, you know what? You guys can work this out later. Right now we're dealing with a textbook sadist. If you think he was taking it easy on Hasita before, can you imagine what he's doing to her right now? So can we please focus on...
Okay, so now I'm gonna pull this, push and pull this so that it spreads out. Build some more clouds. Let some hard lines develop, like here. This is a hard line. This is soft over here because there's a lot of water there. This is dry here. And so that's how you form clouds around those dry areas like that. And they look really nice. But it takes some time. And remember, start light, B. Start light, because if you're not light, all you're going to get with something like this is mud. Okay, say you want to get some of that out of there, then use a rag and blot it. Pick it up. Put a little bit more in there. See, you've made that a dry edge. Okay, and so there's some clouds. If you want to do, you know, this is kind of blended in here with the trees. You can, once it dries a little better, you can put the trees back in. See how this has got a nice hard line right here, sort of where the leaves are. Okay, you can enhance those, put some down, leave some alone, and they'll form those kind of hard spots in the area. So there's what it looks like.